Talking about not available on all platforms, Jurgen Klopp.
Oh, I don't see how he's not available.
How that links in, but
you can't get him on Apple Music these days.
Yeah, they've been poor, aren't they? They've been poor since the new year. They've been shocking, really, Liverpool.
Do you buy the excuses that he's coming out with?
No.
What did he say? What did he say in his interview? I didn't see.
Yesterday, he said Alisson's feet. I don't know if Roy Keane was being serious there, but he said that Alisson's feet were cold.
Yeah, it is cold out there. To be fair, it's cold.
I mean, looking out there, it's a blizzard. It's a blizzard.
Bit of leeway. Yeah.
Take a socks on, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but they were saying on commentary that he was like. They were saying on commentary that he was like ill in the days before, but that's no excuse to pass a ball to Sterling's feet.
If you're ill, it depends what kind of ill.
Well, yeah, but then you don't play.
The common cold, mate.
Yeah, but then you don't play. Simple as if you're ill still.
Yeah, that's true.
An ill Alisson or an Adrian. No one wants that.
Or Kelleher. Is that the young guy?
Yeah, Kelleher. He's the Kellering guy who did decent.
But anyway, Liverpool. It's going down the pan, really.
Massively.
What is wrong with them? Because it's either the injury. Is it the injuries?
No.
Well, this is the thing, because that's what their fans are, obviously, or not all their fans.
No, John, it is all their fans.
That didn't come from me.
I want it to come from me. I'm sending for Liverpool fans. You're all making excuses. You're all terrible.
Just to confirm, these are Kai Sherlock's own.
Confirm. You'll never walk alone, but Kai's going to walk alone now.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who did walk alone. Karius after that Champions League final, didn't he, mate? That's what he walked alone off that field.
Kai, you've got to be a lot more professional talking about Liverpool, okay? Agendas aside, right, mate?
Bias, non-biased.
Non-biased.
They've lost. I mean, they've lost 3 consecutive home games, and after not losing at home in like 4 years, it's not great, is it really for them? And I mean, they use the excuse of not having a centre back or injuries or whatever it is, but Van Dijk was in that team when they lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. He played. It was the game before the Everton one. So, using that as an excuse, like when they played Man City at the weekend, they had Kevin De Bruyne out. They had their best player out. So,
exactly.
What's the excuse?
Exactly. That's the thing, yeah.
I think that, I do think, especially for Liverpool as well, I think having Van Dijk out is a lot more, I think it's a lot more disastrous than having someone like Kevin De Bruyne out.
Is it because...
Yeah, because look at where Liverpool were before Van Dijk came in. They're a completely different side.
Yeah, fair point.
Like, they were top 4. They were just they were inconsistent. They were losing games, and Van Dijk's completely changed that back line.
Yeah, fair point.
He's the type of centre back which makes everyone else around him look better because he just makes everything so easy. Like, you can have an average centre back next to you. It's a bit like Ruben Dias.
Yeah.
Ruben Dias with John Stones. John Stones, put him next to, I know Otamendi's gone, but put him next to Otamendi, atrocious.
He's more class.
Yeah. Got Ruben Dias, and he makes him look incredible.
Well, because it takes a lot of the pressure off, doesn't it? When you've got a good centre-back next to you, it gives you confidence. It's like with a goalkeeper. If you've got a goalkeeper behind you who's constantly making mistakes, it makes a back four, nervous to almost sit in front of them. And the fact that Liverpool came in and went, like you say, they brought in Van Dijk and it completely changed them, and they brought in Alisson, and them two just changed the side. Yeah. They literally went from there and then just rocketed and went automatically to title challenges. So yeah, it's a fair point actually that they bring them in. But this season though, they've been woeful, even with Van Dijk in the side. And I think, go on.
Van Dijk came in and actually they did when he had gone, they were doing all right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They weren't actually that bad.
They were doing okay, and it's generally just since Christmas. And who has been out since Christmas is Diego Jota as well.
Big loss for him.
He was a lot of their goals as well.
Especially because at the time, I know Salah's getting a bit back onto form now, but Mane and Firmino weren't firing. And I mean, Firmino never really fires, but I mean, has he really?
No.
Reached high numbers?
Just stirring the pot.
I'm not rivalries aside, as someone would say, but rivalries aside, for me, Firmino's on the level of Martial. He's just not.
I think the problem with Firmino is he's coming away from what he does best. He's listening to people who are saying he's not scoring goals and he's trying to score goals, but that's not Firmino at his best. Firmino at his best is.
But what's a striker supposed to do there?
But I think
it's a false nine, isn't he?
But I think he's more of a system striker, and that's why. And to all the people who watch Leeds, this is where people criticise Bamford. He's playing in a system. He's not there. Not all strikers in some systems are there to score goals.
Yeah.
Liverpool won the title last year, but Firmino didn't score as many as what Salah or. It's to play in that system.
Space for Mane and Salah.
Exactly. The way they play is electrifying. And if he drops deep to open up the wings and the space for Mane and Salah, he's sacrificing his goal tally to win trophies, which is fair enough. But what I did find really weird and interesting against Man City was Man City don't have Aguero, who has been arguably one of their best players and a club legend. They didn't have, as you said, mentioned De Bruyne. They did it all without Laporte. They did it all without Walker. They did it
as well.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had Fernandinho playing, and it's ridiculous how. Yes, one player in Van Dijk means so much to Liverpool, and obviously we're probably going to, we are going to talk about Spurs, but it's the same with Kane and Spurs. But
and it's like if Fernandes got injured at United would really struggle.
Exactly.
So for Liverpool this season, is it the injuries or is it Jurgen Klopp?
Both. I don't think you can really blame the injuries because you should have a squad. You need a squad to win a league title, and that's proven with Man City. Look at their squad with all their injuries they've got, and they're still managing to put talent in there. And I'm like, they might have had money fired out on left, right, and centre, but I still think they've managed to build the squad up, and that's what a title winning side does. And
I think this has exposed the lack of compared to other clubs, investment in Liverpool.
Yes.
In their team. I think Jurgen Klopp's done a fantastic job, and I think the money generated from Coutinho was used very well. But that was sort of the last sort of massive investment in Liverpool, and they were never really. Their squad depth is terrible. Even last year, like you spoke to Liverpool fans, like their squad depth wasn't great. And it was going to be, they've had an injury crisis. And the problem with Jurgen Klopp is he plays this very high intensity football. And it happened at Dortmund. He ran the players into the ground. And, he picked up injuries left, right and centre. And that was the problem. Without the squad depth and the players to step up, this was always going to happen when other players got injured. And I just think it shows a lack of investment in Liverpool and actually how well Jurgen Klopp has done to not have to beat Man City, compete with Man City compared to their level of investment.
Say a lack of investment. They spent 70 million on Van Dijk. Like that's an investment. I know it's the money from Coutinho, but it's still an investment into the side.
Yeah, it's not like Man City, is it? It's
but no one's like Man City. Man City are just.
But I think it's the lack of investment in January for me. Like they've signed 2 centre backs on deadline day, one from Preston. Who I don't know how. I've never watched Ben Davies. I don't know how good he is. He might be world class.
They reckon he's quite good, don't they? They reckon he's.
Yeah, I was going to say he could be fantastic, but I think I don't think it's the injuries. I don't think it's Van Dijk. No, I don't think it's Klopp. I think it's just a mentality thing at the moment. They're going through a bad run of form. Exactly, it's confidence. And I've got down here. I'm ripping off Kai's stats from the week before.
Please stats.
Since their 7-0 victory against Palace, like you got to remember, they beat Palace 7-0. They drew to City 1-0, all without Van Dijk. They beat Spurs 3-1 recently. But since the 11 games since the Crystal Palace 7-0 victory, they've won 3, drawn 3. 2 of them being against Newcastle and West Brom, and lost 5. 2 against Burnley. 2 against Burnley and Brighton. Obviously lost that unbeaten Anfield record, but the fact they've only won 3 in their last 11 games in all competitions. One of the wins was against a 12-year-old Aston Villa team. Like it's poor. It's just their mentality.
It's a worry, isn't it? It's a worry because if you'd have said before the season that Liverpool would end up nowhere near the title, because if they carry on the way they're going, they won't be anywhere near the title. And
I was going to say Chelsea are 1 point off them now.
I think City will run away. I think it's City's title now, and they're going to run away with it, and you'll start to see the gap getting bigger now. But
if Leeds beat Palace tonight, you don't know. You don't know. Sorry, carry on.
But yeah, so I just think that Liverpool now, if you'd have said before the season that they'd actually been a race for top 4, that is. You wouldn't expect that at all. Like, there's a possibility that they actually might not get top 4 if they don't carry on well this season. And the way they're going, they need to turn it around. They need to get confidence back in them, I think.
That's the thing. Yeah. Well, because we said last week, I posed the question, will Chelsea get top 4? I think me and Kai both said no. They are 1 point now off Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool, yeah.
And Liverpool now ask the question, do you think Liverpool will get top 4?